If you baby a GGC campuano, Nanamo de Kukuru here, and break us on Edmading. I feel my hand crowd you no song.
The SANKOFA process of going back to fetch and live the best of our cultural heritages is key to our future success as African people throughout the world. As an officially recognized Asante Kingdom in North America, SANKOFA journey reconnects our brothers and sisters born in America with our AKAN family structure in Ghana and beyond. Asante Nkunim Krom, celebrating the 10th year as an Asante clan system in North America. However, Nana Kofi Tuuda, who has been on this mission for the past 43 years, shared the first 33 years experience.
I think it's very important for our people, both here on the continent and especially those that were taken off of the continent years ago, to understand that my journey is their journey. I was born Donald Lewis, which means that there was no association to any culture through my name and the lifestyle that I was raised in as it pertains to the Western exposure and the infusion of the Western way at the exclusion of our African ways. So it is important for our brothers and sisters to know that the journey that they have been on most of their lives here is my journey. And the ability for us to go back and fetch that which we have lost has everything to do with an understanding of what we've been exposed to and the way that we live in the West, in North America, is more as Westerners and as Europeans and not as true African spirits. And that is not our fault based on what has happened to us. So there needs to be a way of exemplifying to open up the door for us to understand that it has to go beyond tourism. Our brothers and sisters, they sacrifice, they save money, they take time off from work, they go into debt. And what they say is, we want to come to the motherland. Why the motherland? Because they know this is their birth origin. And so with that, we have been tourists, not understanding that the true return has to do with what has happened with Asante Nkunim Krom 10 years ago. So the first 33 years was me learning, being exposed to and trying to work through the reality of who we actually are as a people. And I've had many teachers and many guides and ancestral support along the way. So that the true return is when we return to family. And that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be an AKAN or an ASHANTI as we are. They may be Ga or Ewe, or they may be Nigerian, and they may be Igbo or Yoruba, or they may be Dimbara out of Namibia, or out of Zimbabwe, Shaunas. Whoever you are, the ancestors are whispering to you. This is why you want to return to your motherland. But you have to know that it's not just about coming here and you have returned. It is about reconnecting with your brothers and sisters as family through the realization who you are. And most importantly, live it in America. It's not coming to
man, he was a young man who showed interest in the Asanteman community. And from there, 1982, we have bonded together. That is when our relationship started. It was from there on that Nana Tuuda decided to get interested in the affairs of Asante, and by implication, Agoko. I must say that he has got himself very committed to the Agoko community. He has been a regular member of the Agoko community. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to him for this linkage. He has been very, very, very consistent in his support for the Agoko community.
Nana Kofi Tuuda further elaborated why a DNA test cannot give a definite answer as to what African bloodline one belongs to.
There's a very important distinction to be made in terms of what has happened to us and the way we were dispersed throughout the world, the Caribbean, different places in the world, and especially North America, is that the blood through, various pollutions and interactions with your true bloodline has taken place over years. So a DNA test will not take you to the realization of what actually family structure. It will tell you a particular country or region, and it'll even give percentages. So 50% may be Ghana, 20% may be Nigeria, 10% may be a European country. It could be the UK that blood is going and traced back to because of what has happened to us. So the blood has been polluted. The way that Asante Nkunim Krom has been able to come back to the awareness that we are actually AKANs and Ashantis, and then which Abusia, which family we belong to, has come through spiritual revelations. It has, each one of us has our own story to tell and confirmations that were given to us to have us be able to know that we've truly returned as Ashantis. And so this is very important, that the same way that we have done it, it is there for other people. The whisperings of your ancestors, the signs will come. In Philadelphia, we don't have bats the way that you have bats here in Ghana. We very rarely see a bat in Philadelphia. But yet, as I was going through this process to understand my connections, and the ancestors would guide me, on 3 occasions at crucial times when I needed an answer, a bat appeared in my home, which is so unusual to happen once. It's happened on 3 occasions over that period of time. And I could tell other stories of other people's confirmation of spiritual ways of being able to determine your bloodline. And it's important because your bloodline doesn't change from generation to generation. You don't become your neighbor's child. You are the bloodline that you have always been, and you have to then identify with that and then realign yourself with that. And in doing so, the culture that then goes along with your bloodline gives you the ability to manifest the unity of African culture, but through the specific manifestation of your culture, which then gives the diversity of unity. And that's what we've always had. Unity through the African, but then diversity through our specific bloodline culture.
Nana Afrakuma Sewa Kusi Obuadum, the Agogohema, expressed her personal experience over the years with the brothers and sisters of Philadelphia as they moved through the process to arrive at the realization that they are Akans and Asantes.
Before 82, na papa be friend Nana Dumba Uwa. Oboabo Asanteman nyina Asante.
Since 1982, Nana Edumbewa gathered all Asantes to form an Asante clan, and that made the Americans notice our traditional cloth and our cultural traditions and became interested to learn our culture. Nana Sapon was elected to open an Asanteman association in Philadelphia, Manhattan, and Queens. In Queens, the Lazulu and Shekum decided to become priests.
It's Nana Sapon there since 1982, and we adapted.
Of being raised, born in America, of two good parents, very loving and supportive parents. I came from a community that we had oversight in terms of different elders in the community, and there was so much investment made in us when we were young, but then things still didn't turn out as we grow older the way that we know that investment that was made in us should have turned out. And the more I began exposed to and find out what it is that is missing. And then with our upbringing and our experience in America, and then being blessed to have the opportunity to come. Nana Kwoku Sarpong in 1982 came to America. He was one of the delegation that was preparing the way for Nana Apokowari to have the gold exhibition throughout America. And I was blessed to be a part of an organization, the Sarah Set Society, that I met Nana Sapong. And then in 1985, I had the occasion to come to Ghana for the first time. And then in 86, I came back. And eventually Nana Sapong's spirit revealed to him that I was someone that needed to become close. And he took me under his wing, and he began to expose me to not only his, understanding of our culture, but also to the elders of Agogo and the traditional council, the Nananum, and also the people. And so as a result of that, I realized that we're living in two different worlds. And what we're trying to do in America, we're living out of context. So even though we have the intention of being African is an awareness. It is a way of structuring ourselves, organizing ourselves as family structures, as clan systems, as traditional councils. ensuring that purification, that we have to purify, because our culture has been impacted on the shores of Africa by colonialism and other influences. And that SANKOFA is just not for those that have went away or been taken away. It's for all of us on the continent and off of the continent, that we have to go back and get the essence of why our ancestors put the culture together, but ensure that the static aspect of it is based on universal law and principle. That doesn't change, but culture has to be dynamic. And so therefore the application of universal principles has to be applied in the locations and to the people that it has to serve to make it relevant in the 21st century. So my life has changed because I've had a chance to see both worlds, and hands down I know that we will never become who we have to become as African people until we go back, purify ourselves, get back in line with our culture, and live.
ASHANTI or the AKAN. We believe we came from 8 ancestries. So we follow the matrimonial system. So every member within this group, the AKAN, belongs to one of the 8, okay, ladies or women. Okay, the Akona, Asini, or Yoko. So the clan system is the foundation and the fundamental of our culture setup. So that has to come together as a group. We know each other. And the interesting aspect of the clan is, even though you belong to one group, the children, particularly from the male side, your children may also belong to the other group. So when we meet, it's a mixture of all the clans coming together. So it's really the foundation of the Ashanti culture.
Agogo Achiamehene shared his role in strengthening the bonds established with Agogo and Asante Nkunim Krom in the future.
I'm the chief linguist of Nana Kwame Ekweku Sapon, the Agogo traditional area of the Agogo traditional area. I have some responsibilities. Sometimes I have to explain traditions and the norms and other things related to chieftaincy to my chiefs. And it is the same responsibility that I think I have to give to my brothers and sisters who have come together to form the Asante Nkunim Krom. And also I was one of the initiators when I was in the US. And since we have started with a responsibility and aim and that we want to achieve, and we have not come to the end of it, therefore, I still think that I have a role to play in the achievement of the aims and the responsibilities that we have set for ourselves. I cannot leave them in the middle of their struggle or their achievements. I must have to make sure that the offer that I can make to them in the achievement of their aims and responsibilities is ensured.
It appears to be uncommon for Africans born on the African continent but living in America to reconnect in meaningful ways. Abusuapani Kofi Sam Enyan Kusi further explains his experience in the relationship that has been established.
I feel very proud to have been a part of the beginning of a very unique history unfolding at Nkunim Krom. The interesting aspects of the Nkunim Krom and the vision of Nana Tuuda is the fact that they want to go back. The SANKOFA is a true SANKOFA, meaning they want to reach out and go back to understand the original intentions and purposes of our traditional contest. The fact of the matter is that we have delineated ourselves from the original intentions and purposes. We've lost our set values, the values which really brought us together, the values of being sincere, being honest, being truthful to each other, and then supporting each other. We've lost all of this. And I'm so happy that Nkunim Krom and the group are focused primarily going back to the original purposes and intentions. And again, they're going to practice this in America. Okay? It's not like people coming from African Americans coming here, being installed as a chief in one town or the other. But in essence, they are practicing our culture really back in America. And that is the essence of how we extended the AKAN group and the groupings and the families. So that's very unique. I haven't seen that anywhere on the continent. And I've been encouraging them that I'm very happy that they are going back. It might even come back to help all of
The Queen Mother of Ejoso, Nana Asantewa II, was invited to an Akwasi Day celebration at the then Agogo Cultural Center prior to our Asante Nation formation, where she graced the occasion with an amazing cultural dance. The next stage of Asante Nkunim Krom's footprint in Ghana is the construction and establishment of a museum pavilion. Although it will be a tourist attraction, the main function of the museum pavilion is to tell the story and experiences of the global Africans throughout recorded time. It will cover 1. The glory and splendor of Africa and Africans before their exposure and embracing of Western ways. 2. The followers as a people and as a result of not living as Africans. 3. The SANKOFA process to return to the ancient ways of their ancestors in the 21st century. And finally, coming together as Africans to become a great African nation once again wherever they find themselves in the world.
It's not been easy, but we believe in the vision that Nana is having. One thing we understand and do believe in is in culture, our cultural heritage. We understand that as a people, once we find a common ground of interest and we do share the same belief, ideas, it helps us develop a sense of belonging, trust, unity, and from there, development can spring up. We understand that whatever we are doing now is for posterity. And for posterity to meet us and judge us well, we have to uphold the cultural values that our ancestors passed on to us. That has been our belief all along throughout our daily lives and whatever we do. So when we met Nana Tuuda with this vision, wanting it to be an international project that Ghanaians home and abroad and even the black community in the diaspora could have a place they can call home, a place they can come to and reconnect back to their roots and have a sense of belonging as one big family of the black community. It wasn't much challenging to lay down some duties we have to do and to make way to assist him in whatever he was doing. We agree with what Nana is doing and we share in his beliefs, so it makes it easy for us to get on board and do whatever we do to aid the development of Asante Nkunim Krom of Philadelphia.
The importance of the work that Asante Nkunim Krom is doing was shared with our brothers and sisters here in Ghana.
To my fellow Ghanaians, what I can say is we have related for some time now with Nana Tuuda, and his vision isn't one that is going to pollute us. It's one that is going to help us recognize the beautiful culture that some time ago our ancestors left behind for us. We do believe that once we assist and get in touch with our cultural heritage, it will help shaping the beautiful future we have as Ghanaians. What we see around us of late is as a result of the decadence and the pollution we have in our cultural values. We have thrown our culture away and we are trying to embrace a culture which isn't part of us. We know we are a people, we came from somewhere through our ancestors, and whatever spirit they had, they passed it on to us. Once we embrace the vision we are sharing here, what I believe this project is going to do for the fellow Ghanaians is that it will help us recognize and have an experience with what our ancestors laid down their lives for us. They carry this mantle of our culture And if we can get in touch with it, the same spirit that guided them is going to guide us and to make our lives a better place. So I'm hoping that one day when this project is well and kicking, we can have Ghanaians from all the corners of this nation coming here, learning about their culture, even having an experience with some of the artifacts and the ways of our ancestors, so that this nation will be a better place for us.
Nanayere Akos Rosemond Obin-Inti stated how she prefers organic farming compared to inorganic farming, such as using chemicals like pesticides, weedicides, and GMO seeds.
We all believe and know that organic farming is the best way to go for because it's very healthy and very good for the human body. Comparing to the inorganic farming, they apply a lot of chemicals and weedicides to it, which is very, very, very harmful to the body. So for me as a course, I believe in organic farming and it's the best way to go.
We're here at the Asante Nkunim Krom compound in Shridium. I'm here with the family, Miyere Akos, and our sons, Asante, Sapon, Aweraku, and Yao. So we wanted to just give a brief synopsis of the type of impact that we want to have when we return to our brothers and sisters. There are things that we have learned and things that we can share. And one of them being that we have a saying that we shouldn't be in the dark in the land of the sun. And so lights out, doom saw on, off. We have put together a compound that is solar energy driven, the power of solar energy. We capture the rain water and then we store it and we use it to flush the toilets. We have a solar energy hot water system because it's very important that hot water, not only for bathing, but for washing dishes in the kitchen, etc. So throughout the whole building, we have hot water that is flowing. And we have the organic farm, which my wife will share with you some of the things that we have grown over the years.
What we have in the garden, this is cassava. And cassava here, we use it for fufu, we use it for banku, we use it for gari and different types of food. And it's organic, means it's very healthy. This is plantain. And for plantain, you can use it as well for fufu. You can use it for ampesi. You can use it for kokonte. Kokonte, you dry the plantain. Then you just put it on fire and you stir it. That's it, you go. This is cabbage seedlings. So it's getting ready. I think by the next week or two, it will be ready. Then we transplant it to the ground. So I'm telling you, the time it's ready, I'll take video of it and show it to you guys. What Yao is holding is kontomire, as you call it, spinach. And this is ginger. And that over there is pepper. That's pineapples, but it's not ready yet. Yes, that's bananas you can see up there. That's banana, so far so good.
This is mango,
It's a fruit. You can eat it as well, but you can use it for a smoothie.
And this is maize. You can cook it and eat it fresh. You can use it for banku. And this is for medicinal purpose. You can just cook it and drink it. It's very good for the body.
Further advised the youth who are against the culture how beneficial it is to learn about their heritage.
To my fellow youth, what I can say about our culture and tradition is that, you know, we came from a place whereby we first started as a family, as a nuclear family. We belong to an extended family. Ultimately, the extended family belongs to clans and tribes, and we form the nation that we are in now. From the basics of our family principles, we are taught how to obey, how to respect, how to give honor to whom honor is due, how to sacrifice for ourselves, lay down our life for each other. Now, what I'm seeing in the horizon is that we are throwing all these values away and we are embracing a culture which is not ours. Please, let's come back to the roots. Let's come back to where we were born. Let's come back to the beliefs of our ancestors. Let's come back to the way things used to be done. And it's going to help us all. When we embrace unity, peace, tranquility, trying to lay down our lives for each other, the decadence of our generation is going to stop, if not minimized. We understand that because we are all trying to become better, irrespective of the means, it's the main cause of the problems we are having as a nation. We want to be richer at the expense of others, but that isn't our tradition and culture. We came from a background whereby people could easily sacrifice themselves for the betterment of others. Let's get back to that position. Let's get back to those era where we could easily sacrifice for each other, believing in the visions that we have. And I think it's going to help us develop as individuals and as a nation.
He then continued with encouraging words to Asante Nkunim Krom and all brothers and sisters born in America.
To my brothers and sisters back in the States, what we do believe is once we find where we are coming from and we share the beliefs of where we are coming from, it's easy to make progress. Without knowing and understanding where one is coming from, it's difficult to tell where you are going. We do believe that you are part of us. It doesn't matter the year gap that has spanned between us. We know you are our brothers. We do believe you are our sisters. We understand that you are trying to reconnect back to your roots, and that is what we are here for. We are willing and pushing that with whatever strength we have in us, we are going to make this project a success. Don't give up. It may be difficult. We may have challenges along the way, but know that we are here for you. We are willing to meet you, interact with you, connect back with you, and make you feel the warmth of belonging to a family. So don't give up. We are with you, always.
I mean my family back home in Asante Nkunim Krom, Philadelphia. I just want to congratulate you on your 10th anniversary and wishing you all the best back home from Ghana. Yamamo Aiko, you done well.
I would want to congratulate our brothers and sisters who belong to the Asante Nkunim Krom in the first place for their achievements and how far they have come to. They have realized that they belong to a place, and not through no fault of theirs, they happen to be at a certain place. So if they realize that there's a need for them, or if they have found that their brothers are left somewhere and the ancestral homes could be identified, I don't see why they cannot come. They will be received, they will be happy, they will have all the benefits that the people here are enjoying. Not only that, the reconnection thing is very important, because some years ago there was this issue of returning home. So where were they returning home to? If you don't belong to any place, how can you call the place a home? And since this place is their home, they are always welcome. I want to say that the brothers and sisters belonging to the Asante Nkunim Krom have set a pace. Those people who have not as yet joined them should join them so that they will be able to realize and maximize the objectives that they have set for themselves. I think it is very important.
In the first place, to my brothers and sisters at Nkunim Krom, I've been part of your celebrations from the beginning. Unfortunately, I'm stuck up here as a Busuapeni with other responsibilities. How I wish I was with you for this important occasion. My encouragement to you is continue to spread the word. Consolidate, keep focused, particularly practicing what is truly the intentions of our culture. And as I've shared with Tuuda all along, it's not just doing this in Philadelphia. We're doing this for posterity, for history. A history which the objectives may not be realized during his time. It may be long after he's not here that people are going to look back and ask themselves, who was Tuuda? What was he trying to do? How on earth did he have the vision to go back using the word SANKOFA to truly go and uncover and discover what really made up the Ashanti culture? So my encouragement to them is to spread what they are practicing in the American continent so that others will emulate what they are doing. It's not just coming to Ghana and going back as a tourist, but taking the culture back to America, okay, and establishing themselves the way Tuuda has done. And the interesting thing he did to consolidate, and spreading and understanding our culture is the introduction of the clan system into Nkunim Krom. That's how we live here, for people to know which group they belong to. And each clan has its symbol and its meaning. And I'm happy that Tuuda extended this to the members for them to align themselves with any of these clans. So truly, they are practicing the culture back in America. It's not here. That is very unique, and that I wish to encourage my brothers and sisters to continue that practice. And then spread the word. Go to other communities. Go to Chicago, Tennessee, and then let them understand that even though they live in America, they can come back and learn, okay, the culture and live it. Live it in America. They have to live the culture in America. It's not just coming here, buying a kente cloth, putting it on you, taking nice pictures, and being installed as one chief, then you go back. It doesn't mean nothing. It's just one person doing that. But it should be a community-based development, because that's how the culture is. And again, it was a smart thing Tuuda did to establish a township, okay, so that he became the chief with all the elders around. That's how we set ourselves up here. Every town you see around here started with one person who moved into that area. And then later on, they had families, and then it became a town. And then whoever moved there first, forms the royal family. So I'm happy. I belong to Asante, so is Tuuda. So when I go to Philadelphia and Nkunim Krom now, I feel very proud, okay, because I can become a king over there. So that, my brothers and sisters, keep it up, keep focused, don't lose the track.
Yes, we'll see a chinya oda a while now, Tafre. Enti, omunye omadwen se, oti ebi amanone, enti ebi ani refi, ninchi.
Do not forget your heritage, since you live in America. I plead with you all to come home.
No mesua, baby papa bi, na nneoma pa wo yemu, baby panso so wo Ghana, ititru Asanteman mu, omo meka ye ho, na ye nyina ye ntumi mmoa, ma Asanteman ye den enko nanim.
Nana Kwame Ekuoko Sapon, Nkabomhene, ended with encouraging words for Africans born in America as it pertains to the importance of reconnecting to family clan systems and the cultures underlying them.
They must see themselves in an organized community, because love belongs to a community, and they should cease to live as individuals. And this is what Tuuda is doing. He's organizing them along community life. And they have been doing very well on this. And we would like to help him to get the support of the African Aboriginal communities all across. That's the way you would have them to live.
The Asante Nkunim Krom in North America would like to conclude this presentation with a message to our global African brothers and sisters, with a special focus on the African born in America. Just as our town's name translates out to Ashanti Victory Town, we all must be clear that the only way victory for African people can be achieved is to return to the universal principles of divine law and order that has been institutionalized by our ancient ancestors. These principles are static and make up the core values and functions of each African cultural expression. This is the unity that is manifested through diversity, the multiculturalism of Africa for Africans, the one that reflects the many and always remains the one. By extension, these static laws and principles must be made dynamic and applied in specific ways based on one's geographical location, climate, social orientation, and the likes, if they are to correct the countless challenges that we face as a people. We have been attempting to overcome our quality of life dysfunctions by living lifestyles that were imposed upon us by our oppressors. These include, but are not limited to, the political, educational, social economic systems, and yes, even our forms of embracing the Most High, male-female supreme being has been replaced with Western religious beliefs that has a proven track record of not solving our collective dilemma. The only way forward for African people is return back to the ageless, ancient, wisdom-driven lifestyles, which in its purest form are designed to be made dynamic and applied to our lives today. This is the meaning of SANKOFA, and it is through SANKOFA for all African people that the victory can and will be won.
Aye,